Joining us now, I guess we're back with him because earlier we were talking about the importance of buying in bulk. Good morning.
Right, good morning.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely, yeah. Welcome back, students. We're going to do some math in the kitchen.
We love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So remind us of the importance of buying in bulk and really how much money you actually save by doing that.
So bulk is one of the tricks. You know, we talked about onions, where if you buy, an onion, it's $1 a pound. And if you buy a bag of onions, it's $2.50 for 3 pounds. So you're already saving a couple of cents per pound just by buying larger portions. You know, same thing if you buy bags of carrots. 1 pound bag of carrots, $1. 5 pound bag of carrots, $3. So, you know, the numbers are there. You can see what you're paying for when you buy in larger portions. Yeah. But then there's also things like, you know, when you're making guacamole, you know, if you buy avocados, it's going to be cheaper than if you're buying the thing where they've already put the effort and the extra ingredients in. And then you also get to control all of the ingredients.
And how much of what you put in.
Exactly.
And you can make it to your own liking.
That's right. There's no extra sugars or oils or anything that goes into that.
Also a good point.
Right. So, and then hiding throughout the store, oftentimes I call this the hummus hunt because hummus is hidden in 3, sometimes 4 places in the grocery store.
Why do they do that?
Because they don't want you to buy the cheap stuff. They want you to buy the expensive stuff.
That makes sense.
So as you come in and you go through, you're going to find the brand name stuff first, and then somewhere later you'll find the store brands tucked away. And then later on, still, you'll find the beans that you could make it yourself.
I mean, in reality, though, it's really all the same stuff.
It's all the same stuff, and it gets really cheap. It's about 40 cents per serving when you buy the store-bought or the brand name. It's about 7 cents a serving when you make your own using the canned beans, and it's about 2 cents per serving when you go ahead and be hardcore and make the dried beans into hummus.
What a difference.
It is huge.
So,
it's huge.
with the dried beans, do you have to let it soak? Do you have to do that whole process?
You can leave them to soak overnight and then cook them for an hour. Or you could put them in a slow cooker and do it overnight. So there's a couple different techniques there.
Not too bad. But this morning we're going to use canned beans.
That's right. And so we're going to jump right in. So
all right, let's do it.
I put up a recipe and I'll put up a couple of different versions of it. But go ahead and throw your dry ingredients in.
So what are we throwing in
So there's a little cumin, there's salt and pepper, and then a little oregano. And so those all go in. And then we've got a couple of liquids to get us started. Okay. And a lot of...
Does it matter what we start with?
Go right ahead. So there's lemon juice. And there is olive oil. And this third one, the one you just poured in, that's sesame oil. So
this one right here.
Right. So if you're familiar with hummus...
Oh, I could smell it.
Yeah, tahini is the traditional ingredient in hummus that makes it hummus. And this is essentially, it's sesame seeds ground up into a butter. So it is sesame seed butter called tahini.
And if you've never worked with it before, it's normal. It's going to separate like that. You were telling me earlier.
Right. So, and it's very, you know, so if you're trying to go really, because tahini, that's about $8 for a can. Okay. So it's going to add about 1/8 of that can to a hummus. So it's going to add another $1 to your cheap homemade hummus. So today, we're not going to use it. All right. So we're just going to make a bean pate.
We're going to go the cheapo way.
And that's why we use a little sesame oil to add the flavor of the sesame.
Gotcha.
Right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to start blending.
Technically, this is not really a hummus.
I would call it a garbanzo pate.
Oh, fancy.
There you go. So I'm going to start this, and then we're going to use the aquafaba, the bean juice from the can, instead of more oil, because that'll make it just a little bit healthier. All right. So I'm going to start it blending. Ooh, we've got a jumper.
And you want me to do this, or do you want to do it?
I'll pour a little in there.
Go ahead.
So we're just going to keep pouring that in there until we get the consistency that we want. So I may have put a little too much of it, and that will just run for 4 or 5 minutes until it's the consistency that you want.
So it depends on how thick you want it. Like a normal hummus is pretty thick.
Pretty thick. So, and I think I got that pretty good.
Looks good.
Yeah, so we're just going to let it run for a minute, and if we need more juice, we've got it right there.
Other things, I mean, I know in the store, like you have right here, you have roasted red pepper. What other stuff can you put in a hummus to make it a little bit different?
Right, so you can go, so the one I made for today, this is a lemon oregano hummus, or pate, because there's no tahini in there. And so you can set up a little plate there, and I've got oregano and lemon in this one. You could do dill and dill pickle.
Oh, yum.
You could do chili powder and make it hot. You could do roasted red pepper and blend it in. A lot of people love garlic. Yeah, garlic is very traditional.
Really, anything with this.
Anything you want. And so especially when you're making it on your own, you can make it in any way, shape, or form that you want. So I make bread to go with it.
Yeah.
So here's our focaccia that we'll have alongside. But that's making it yourself. and this is almost done. If I run it again another 60 or 90 seconds,
it'll be
done.
pretty good.
Right. And that's 2 cents per serving instead of 40 cents per serving, right? And so I'm standing in front of the aisle with the hummus. I'm like, are you really going to buy the hummus today, or are you just going to go home and make it? Because I know I can make it in about 5 minutes.
And honestly, this is a lot of hummus. I mean, so if you have a big family, it's okay. You probably go through that pretty quick. But for somebody like me, for instance, it might be better to do something like this because you can make a smaller portion.
Well, so then that's because this 15-ounce can will turn into about 14 ounces or about 12 ounces.
Okay, so that's about right.
So it's about right,
okay.
right? And then what you do is you use it. You can have it on snacks for, afternoon. You can use it as a sandwich spread. I like to mix it with a little mustard. I call that mustard.
Mustard.
Right, so you can use it as a pasta sauce. Just mix that right in. You've got a nice protein-based pasta sauce.
I love this,
So you
Adam.
can just use up your hummus.
Awesome. Real quick, before we wrap up, where can people get in touch with you if they want to gain some confidence in the kitchen?
Come see me at breakfastlifeanddinner.com or Facebook page, Breakfast Life and Dinner. And I'd love to help out with cooking classes, adults, kids, in-house meal services, whatever you need.
I love it. Adam, thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure. We'll be right back with more of The Morning Show right after this.